Hello dear crypto friends, welcome back. Today it is time to finally look again at the good old brutal coin XRP. Why is it so brutal? Why is it so little fun to hold this coin? And when is XRP going to start to break out? When can we expect that it will do something, right? Let's start right away and not waste any time. We open the XRP chart, right? XRP USD. As always, I use a logarithmic y-axis. So, okay, let's look at the XRP long-term chart since 2013, right? August 2013. What is going on? So, first of all, we can say we have two phases in XRP. That is, let's call this phase 1 and this is phase 2, right? So we can say XRP has a weird behavior where for a long period of time, in this whole time, XRP was not doing much, and in this whole time, we see the same thing. So XRP is not like other coins who have a continuous growth. XRP does nothing for a few years or very little, and then it goes crazy. So we can say that we had this phase here where we printed a huge triangle. It was a multi-year triangle, okay, since the coin started trading in July 2013 until March 17. So for almost 4 years, not quite, but almost 4 years, it was just wobbling around here. It was just wobbling around, right? And then suddenly it went on a massive run, on a crazy run. It went let's see how much percent it gained in that time. Like, let us see from the lowest low to the highest high. It was like, wow, 112,928%, okay? So it rose by more than a factor of 1,129. What the hell? This is crazy. A factor of 1,000. This is crazy performance. So since then, because it rose so crazy much in that time, XRP has been doing what it always likes to do. Then it has been just consolidating like here and doing nothing much, right? It has been wobbling around in this weird long structure here. And then when the bull run of Bitcoin started in 2020 and reached the peak in 2021, XRP pumped a bit, but not really much. It didn't even reach the old all-time high, which was of course quite disappointing to many people, which is very understandable. And we would like to now know what is going to happen. So let's look at some structures. We can say that XRP is in a new triangle. If we zoom in here, it is doing a very long-term triangle, and we can see that this triangle is coming to a close soon in August this year. It will come to a close. Now, we would of course like to know, will XRP break out to the upside or to the downside, right? What will this depend upon? Well, as always, friends, this depends on the movement of Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin, as we said in the last video, will start dumping and we go to $20,000, that will of course drag all the altcoins with it down, and we can expect XRP to consequently also dump and break this triangle to the downside. If BTC pumps and the dollar index dumps, so if BTC pumps to new all-time highs late this year, which we still cannot exclude, then XRP will consequently also pump and this triangle will break to the upside. And we can also see that XRP is printing, as many other coins, a quite nice hidden bullish divergence. So we have higher lows, right? But the RSI is making lower lows, and we also have some kind of a falling structure, a falling wedge-like structure, where breakout point in the RSI is also reached. We're wobbling around, it's getting tighter and tighter. And then normally a falling wedge in the RSI speaks for a break to the upside. But as we know, if BTC breaks to the downside, XRP will not pump, right? Friends, let's be realistic. We will not see something like this here if XRP drops to $20,000, right? This cannot happen. Forget it. Even if Ripple wins the SEC lawsuit, okay? Even if they announce a settlement like next week, if BTC drops down to $20,000, this here will not happen, believe it or not. XRP will not go to $10 and above if Bitcoin dumps to $20,000. Now let's take a look at the XRP BTC chart. XRP BTC is quite fascinating. It's very, very different from many other coins. So long term, we can see that we are in an ascending channel, right? The red trend line here, it is an ascending trend line because the chart makes higher highs, right? We have higher highs, at least the candle closes here imply higher highs, and we have higher lows because this low here was lower than this one. This was a higher low. Okay, so long term, the XRP BTC chart is still looking good despite the SEC lawsuit. That is quite interesting, despite the SEC lawsuit. Now you can see that I have already drawn a falling wedge, right? How did I arrive at this falling wedge? Well, I take these candle closes here in the weekly chart, right? The candle closes, and just make this line longer and then see where I arrive, okay? And I do the same here, right? We just take the candle closes here, and then we draw the line, and then what do we see? We see that we get a falling wedge. And what is a falling wedge normally? A falling wedge is normally a bullish structure, which most of the times breaks to the upside. So what can we expect now in the coming weeks and months? First of all, this falling wedge structure ends in early January 2023 or late December 2022. So this goes until the end of the year, right? And it is quite fascinating to see that except for this outbreak here, this, I would call it an anomaly, which we all know why it happened, because Ripple got sued, I think, in December 2020. So it got sued by the SEC here. So it crashed down and went to this anomalous low, and then it immediately went back up, right? So I would call this an anomaly. I would exclude this from my analysis because I think this would not have happened under other circumstances. So if we exclude this anomaly here, we see that it has been printing, XRP BTC has been printing a multi-year wedge. A multi-year wedge since late 2017 or early 2018. So since over 4 years now, just try to imagine this. Since over 4 years now, XRP BTC is printing a super insane falling wedge structure that will end by the end of this year. So we can expect a breakout sometime between now and December, later this year or early next year. Okay? So this is how normally falling wedge structures work, especially super long-term ones. They are very bullish structures. So we have this falling trend, and this is a bullish structure, and I expect a breakout before the end of the year or early next year at the latest. And by the way, I think this will happen with or without the Ripple lawsuit coming to a conclusion, because there's the good old saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. So what many people are now expecting is that nothing will happen with XRP, nothing will happen until the lawsuit is resolved, okay? That is logical, but are the markets logical? No, they are not. What normally happens is that you buy the rumor. So if there's more concrete rumors that this thing is being settled or coming to a close, then it will start pumping. And when the lawsuit is over, I think we will reach the top, okay? So what will happen? Buy the rumor, sell the news. So at some point this year, we don't know when, it will start going up, okay? It will start going up and reach the top of this channel, probably. I'm just saying probably because, as always, friends, these are just my opinions and I could be wrong. Please keep that in mind. But I think that this is what's going to happen because normally you have a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of situation. Because everybody's expecting now that XRP will instantly pump when the lawsuit is being resolved and will do nothing before. I think exactly the opposite will happen. We will start pumping before and we will see the top of XRP in this cycle when the Ripple lawsuit is being resolved. That is my opinion. That is counterintuitive, I know. So In XRP USD terms, if we go back to XRP USD, what we have drawn before, we see that here there's a break in XRP USD well before that. That is strange, right? So that is quite fascinating that here we have a break in August already. So let me draw a few different scenarios based upon what Bitcoin will be doing. Okay, now we have to go into the Bitcoin analysis a bit, but we cannot do, seriously friends, we cannot do an altcoin analysis without doing a Bitcoin analysis, because every altcoin follows Bitcoin, every single one. So we have to understand what Bitcoin will be doing. So if we look at our long-term Bitcoin channel, the logarithmic regression channel, where Bitcoin has been in since it started trading in 2010, we see that we are kind of in the middle of this channel, so it is quite undecided what Bitcoin will be doing, right? And we said in the previous video, it will highly depend on the dollar index. If the dollar will continue pumping, you can watch my previous video where I explain this correlation. If the dollar will continue pumping, then Bitcoin will be dropping, right? We will go to lower lows. We still have a chance that we see a kind of an expanded flat correction and then it will continue pumping. Or the other scenario is that Bitcoin will really break down. We go to the 16,000, 17,000 level, we wobble around, and then at some point later we start pumping. Now, depending on what kind of scenario we are getting, of course, XRP will highly depend on what Bitcoin will be doing, right? So if Bitcoin starts pumping right now because the dollar index already starts dumping next week, then accordingly, the chances that XRP will break to the upside are not so low, right? If now Bitcoin will do an expanded flat, then I think the following will happen. I think XRP USD will break down, rebound, and then we get a rally. This would also be quite in line with actually what Bitcoin did here. If we compare how XRP is looking, the whole scenario here, with Bitcoin, what can we see? Well, we can see that these two things are not so dissimilar, right? We could identify this run here with this run, right? And we could identify this thing here with this here. So what would this mean? Well, this would mean that Bitcoin was doing kind of also a triangle structure. If we look back, right, we can say that this here was actually a huge triangle where Bitcoin was in, and it got broken to the downside during the COVID low. It immediately rebounded and then we got a rally. So if we would apply this to XRP, this would indeed mean that we would break down now. We would almost go down to the lows that we had here, because Bitcoin almost reached the low of $3,000 from 2018. We would rebound and then would immediately go into a rally. This would be a brutal shakeout event, which would like shake out, I don't know, 99% of get rich quick people. That would be a brutal shakeout event, but it could happen if we compare the quite fascinating similarity of these two charts here. And of course, if Bitcoin now completely breaks down, if we go back to the lowest possible area of this long-term trend channel here, we can see that the lowest curve represents it. So we would go to around $16,000, $17,000, $18,000. If this happens, we would rebound, and I don't think we would immediately go into the next cycle. I think the earliest date then would be late 2023 or early 2024, because let's not forget that we have the halving in 2024. So then I think Bitcoin will wait until late 2023 or early 2024 until the next pump begins. And that would of course mean the following for XRP. That would mean that XRP will now of course also break down, maybe make lower lows, maybe make a double bottom, but it would wobble around here, and then at some point in 2024 would continue pumping. Or as an even worst case scenario, we would make a lower low. This whole thing could have been an A, B, C type correction, right? Where we go even lower, and then afterwards in 2024 and later we can continue making new all-time highs. This is also not entirely excluded. I just want to be honest with you, friends. I'm not one of those channels where I will promise you XRP goes to $500 or $2,000. This is, in my opinion, impossible anyways, okay? In my opinion, it is impossible anyways, at least not within the next 5 or 10 years. In the year 2040, when Bitcoin is at $5 million, yes, then XRP can be at $1,000 or I don't know, something like that. But until then, I think such prices are utterly impossible for XRP. So you see that it will highly depend on what Bitcoin is doing. We could have a few multiple scenarios. Let's go back to XRP USD. So if Bitcoin now starts pumping, because the dollar index will start dumping very soon, there is the hope that we will get a breakout before this year. And I think we will get a breakout to the upside in that case. And XRP will pump despite the lawsuit maybe not being fully resolved. But there's the old thing with buy the rumor, sell the news. And the top would, of course, highly depend to what price Bitcoin will be going. If Bitcoin makes a top at only 100K, of course, the XRP top would be lower. But I think a price of at least $10 for XRP in this cycle is realistic if Bitcoin goes to over 100K. If Bitcoin, of course, dumps and then has a rally, well, then we will get this structure here. It will break down, rebound, and then go into a rally. And the third scenario, which we all don't like, this A, B, C type structure, right? And then rebound and then to new highs in 2024 and later. These are the possibilities we have. Of course, everyone is hoping that BTC will continue pumping and that this triangle will break to the upside. That is, of course, something we are all hoping, but I wouldn't bet on it. You know, history has its way of punishing people to the maximum pain threshold. So if that breaks down, we just should be waiting and maybe have some fiat left and just use this opportunity to load up on more coins, right? There's always a buying opportunity here. These here were all buying opportunities, the same as all these here. If you go back to 2013 to 2017, these here were all insane buying opportunities, right? And afterwards you had a lot of fun if you had bought these dips here. So we should be seeing this as a long-term play. For XRP, you need an insane amount of patience. It's the hardest coin to hold, by far the hardest one. And we should not expect anything major to happen before the end of the year. If BTC pumps, we can be lucky and we can get a pump already before August. But only if BTC starts pumping like crazy and if there are some good rumors coming out of the SEC lawsuit. That is my current picture, friends. I wish I could tell you with 100% guarantee that XRP will pump to $20, $30, $40 by the end of this year, but we know this all depends on what Bitcoin will be doing and of course also to some degree on what rumors are coming out of the Ripple lawsuit and when this lawsuit will of course also resolve. So that is the picture, friends. So please like this video and subscribe maybe even to this channel if you found this information helpful. And then see you in the next video. Bye!